or better known as Ye. I say Kanye put the fourth K in KKK, and I'm going to show you why. So he had an interview here with DJ Academics. It's been going viral. So if you haven't seen it yet or listened to it yet, I'm only going to go through a short portion of it because I want you guys to hear certain parts and just one not even parts like this part. He's going to kind of go not really on a rant, but he's going to talk very deeply about his daughter and some of the things in the industry, and then we're going to discuss it. So let's see what he has to say.
I was pushing life to the limits by pushing into the truth of like we know that wasn't surprising when I put that image up of my youngest daughter.
Yeah.
That wasn't like the most surprising idea, but it'd be things that happen that we know happen that we just can't do anything about. But then they push whatever agendas like on the media that they want us to focus on. And that's something where, I don't know who the people are, so it would sound like real conspiracy theory. I just know that the kid from Lincoln Park got killed for expressing some of these same truths. And for me, just as a father, at a certain point, it's not about it never was that, but when you're a celebrity, it starts to be about more of what fame is going to get you, what clout is going to get you, what money is going to get you over. Is this the right thing for your children? And I'm willing to die for my children or to allow them to be in this kind of environment that I know they're in. And what I noticed on the comments, they always used to try to, like, for the past 10 years, they used to try to write me off. Oh, he's so crazy. He's so crazy. I'm seeing the comments is now like 60, 70% like, yo, he's just telling you exactly what's going on. He's just the only one that's in a position to be able to do it because I don't have any brand sponsorships. It's like I'm past cancel.
So let's stop there. This is one of the things that really inspired me about Kanye. Let me start calling him Kanye. He's not Kanye anymore. And if you could tell by my background, well, not right now, but I have his album art on my wall. With that being said, with Ye, you can tell with Ye that it's very. Once he's seen how the culture was going to treat him after whatever happened, when he got dropped from Nike, then he got dropped from Adidas, and all these things happen. You can see with Ye that, like he said, he's past cancel. Like you can't cancel somebody who no longer cares. And I know a lot of people judged him from when he went on his gospel journey of building a Christian gospel album, which I love. I think it's a great album. Um, what he's doing is just living his truth. Sometimes we don't like what we hear, but when we hear it, doesn't make it wrong. Sometimes we like to judge people for what they're saying, but we all are here giving our opinions and our thoughts. That's all we're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to convince you to do a certain thing. Ye's not trying to convince you to think a certain way. He's outwardly speaking his thoughts. If he does have some mental health issues, we all probably have a little bit of something. I worked in the mental health career field for 15 years or more. And trust me, if you pull that DSM out, trust me, we all got some form of diagnosis.
these people out here, they toying, they playing. It's interesting. The swastika. I want to just, I know we have a little bit of time. I want to tell you, by doing it, it's sort of like a magnet where people get so mad and they start exposing themselves because the Jews they move in the tunnels, they move where you can't see them, they're an invisible hand, and they'll get like what they'll do is they'll threaten people. They'll threaten people. Oh, we're going to take your tours away. We're going to drop your artists. You got to say this. You like how many people put I stand with my Jewish people, 3 years ago. And what I did is I stood on it this time. I never backed down. That's my whole thing. That's why I was mad about removing that somebody taught me into removing that Jay-Z tweet because it was just like, nah, the whole idea is no matter what, I'm not going to back down. So by doing a swastika chain, it then ruffled some feathers. And then I really saw the comparison of me and Puff with the Diageo and the Adidas situation. Regardless if they could have locked me up for taxes or not, They wasn't playing fair. Like, okay, cool, fair deal. You did good. We did good. It's like, no, you leaving with nothing. We have to destroy you. Even though they came and used us to tap into the culture and make money.
Right there. So as you're listening to him, he's describing what happened to him in the world as the same thing that happened to Diddy when he started talking out, started saying that he owns this, and pretty much got chopped from underneath them, and then everything started to be exposed. He's gonna go into them releasing the video on him because, as he mentioned, especially for our community, once you say something bad about somebody in our community and people see any type of evidence that can kind of even remotely feel that it's true, they're going to run with it. Like we are, I tell people, I think it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I actually did a podcast, just a voice podcast on Spotify. And I talked about how we were the true culture vultures. We feed on each other. Once somebody in our community does something negative, we're going to eat our own. We don't care what they did for us 20 years ago, 2 days ago. You're going to eat them up. And that's what they did with Diddy. And if you notice, it's been very quiet about Diddy, but in the background, there's been a lot of people going down for different things, different crimes. And I wonder what's really going on because Diddy was the voice for the community. People keep forgetting that Diddy knows a lot of the business that went down in the streets. He knows a lot of stuff that went down in entertainment. And I guarantee you right now, everybody who's being picked off, being put into jail for little, that stuff's coming out because Diddy knows. But as he mentioned, people want to call you a conspiracy theorist or whatever when you have a different outlook on things. But I think his perspective is kind of right on.
All for black people and people who enjoy black culture. If we said like, yo, you doing this wrong, you stealing my style, you taking all of my employees, you taking Jerry Lorenzo and making him do my same designs as he's the agreeable Kamala nigga. They started lowering the budget.
Don't miss that. The agreeable Kamala. And that's what he's saying. He's saying that the big man upstairs is always going to pick the black people who are agreeable. And if you get a chance to listen to 19 Keys and Jalen Brown interview, Jalen Brown really breaks it down. He breaks it down about these athletes who sign these deals with Nike and all these huge companies and what's actually in the contracts. These people are literally selling their souls to be rich. And again, y'all gonna think we're conspiracy theorists, but if you listen to the people who are within the system, they're telling you what's going on. That's why Jalen Brown has pretty much been blackballed. They let him play basketball, but that's it. He started his own brand, which is dope. But that's another episode for another day.
It's for Puff. So I related to Puff, and then they pulled out a video with him and Cassie from 10 years ago. And then it made everybody be like, oh, well, Puff's a woman beater, so he's the devil. He needs to be in jail, right? Meanwhile, I don't know somebody who hasn't gotten to an altercation with a girl at one point, and including Cardi. So now Cardi's like at the number one guy at Rolling Loud, and Puff is in jail. And then it's now you got two women beaters and you got two supposed pedophiles. Watch this. One is no, you got three. Watch this. Cardi, Puffy, Kendrick, the two pedophiles. Drake, R. Kelly, or supposed. Puffy and uh, R. Kelly are in jail with Drake 5 years from now, or however long, when they feel like they really want to get that boy up out of here, they're gonna play the Kendrick song. So that's how far they going. The Kendrick mix with the Universal, all that takedown of Drake reminds me of the No Diddy campaign for Diddy. Like they going all out, but see, I know how to go all out, and I'm not even in their position. I just work on behalf of God. Like how this shit comes together, the timing, everything is like a God sense. I had a couple things I want to say. So I pushed in to the Puff song. I put my daughter on the song. The timing was so perfect. She went in, rapped it. She said, "I'm getting sleepy." So she said, "Okay, good night." And that was the end. And she was giving me like the Lil Kim on the old Bad Boy record. So that's why we put that. And the idea was family. It's so many people who dad actually killed somebody and they would do anything to have their their dad home. The two twins, uh, and Christian lost. They mama died and they daddy in jail, and everybody running around listening to murder music, right? But being like, Puff is the enemy. And when I see all these
And if you guys are paying attention, so he's letting you guys know, first of all, the takedown of my boy Drake is real. People don't believe it is real. And he's going to break down why they chose Kendrick too. You know, they're not like us and all that stuff. Like he said, when they ready to really take down Drake, they're going to use Kendrick to bring him down, because it's easier for us to bring down each other, right, than the man to have to do it. And that goes back again, as you guys know, if you listen to my episodes, Willie Lynch story, it talks about how we will pretty much destroy ourselves within our own culture, and that's what he's talking about.
videos, all tapes, everything, Puff more like my twin. Me and him got into it because it's just like I'm telling these top five niggas, is like, yo, actually we probably could be friends, but nigga, you ain't bringing none of that shit over here, nigga. Y'all niggas ain't as crazy as me. And that's why I asked Puff back in the days. It's like, man, how you just made it through all this shit night shit? He's like, I'm the craziest one, nigga. It's like, it's like, so once them people, we family, we can get into it. But they started taking that shit too far. I started taking it personal at a certain point with Puff, like all of the media. Because I wake up every day, whether I did something positive, negative, somebody got something negative to say. You know what I'm saying? So I relate to idea of being torn down by the media. You know what I'm saying? But keep going. I know because we got a short amount of time. I just want to hit you with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
so like the whole thing about, and even whether it's the outfit, the swastika, I think some people like they feel like they're spreading hate
Once
and
I'm sorry. I'm
and they're
sorry.
encouraging violence versus people.
The thing that I forgot to say was when my daughter was put on song, that's when I realized that I didn't own their name and likeness. So watch this. All the brands that I've made, I don't get the name and likeness on.
And he's not going to talk about like college sports, but that's why the NIL was really created. These people are trying to infiltrate people at a younger age when they're even more influenced. Because when you become older, you might get like a Jalen Brown, right? Somebody who's starting to think for themselves, someone who finishes college, someone who's educated. It's hard to get into those people's head. But if I can catch you at 17 and 18 years old and make you a multi-millionaire, because it's not name, image, and likeness. It's not that. It's these boosters who are very wealthy, these companies who are very wealthy. Again, Jalen Brown spoke about this with 19 Keys. Just follow the companies who sponsor people. Excuse me. Just follow the companies. They're all friends. They all work together. Excuse me. Nike, Gatorade, all these companies end up teaming up together. They get these young men and young women and they catch you while you're young. Because if I can poison your mind with money at a young age, as you get older, you're going to continue to do what we need you to do. Even though your talent does speak for itself, if you never know how to turn your talent into a true monetization, it's going to be easy to tap in. And that's why people don't really think about it. But people like Steph Curry, right? Under Armour is not really a huge brand, but it allows him a lot of autonomy to do a lot of stuff with women's basketball, things of that nature. You get somebody like Kawhi Leonard, who's with New Balance. Those smaller companies are actually the way to go, or create your own brand and do things like I think it was Kyrie Irving did is it Athena or whatever that company is overseas. He got with them and they allow him to be his own person and do what he wants to do. It wasn't blackballing him. So this is something to really think about. But like he said, that name, image, and likeness stuff, that's really a way for them to infiltrate who you are and become what they want you to become.
Ownership or at least 50-50 with my kids. So how's it joint custody? My kids are celebrities and I don't have to say so. So watch this one. So this white woman and this white family had the control of these highly influential black kids that are half the children of Ye. And that's just in everybody's face. And they was playing in my face like that. I try to go to champagne and keep it calm. And my dad would call me, say, "Hey, don't go in on that woman because it's gonna affect the children." But now it's like it's war. Y'all niggas, they think they too powerful. The Jews think they too powerful. Think they could get Cardi to play with me. They think they too powerful. They think they could get Kim to play with me. The Jews and the whites above the Jews. You get what I'm saying? That's my life is on this shit now. These are my children. Cardi, you could leave me off the album and do that faggot ass trap shit if you want. But now you mention my daughter, like the whole plan is that y'all gonna pull my kids into y'all, whatever the word is, Illuminati system, and I don't have no say so of my kids, nigga. And anybody close, whether it's the Jews, whether it's Cardi, anybody within my reach, I'm doing everything legally in my power, everything.
And that's why I be telling people, Kanye in his right mind. You see how he added that word on there legally? Kanye know what to say.
My fucking mastermind. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm about to tweet this shit. I want Kendrick to always remember that Jay-Z tweet before he ever crossed the line.
Okay.
Nobody that worked for none of these fucking labels wanted with the king. I am the Don. Lucian, don't send none of your motherfucking slaves. Don't send nobody because they getting their head torn off. Quick. We ain't got no problem. Ain't no motherfuckers. I'm the only king. I'm the only nigga that'll go up against these niggas. I'm the only nigga that survived through this shit. You know what I'm saying? Me, pussy ass, faggot ass, pink polo ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never killed nobody ass nigga. Fuck all you niggas. All you street niggas, all you rap niggas, just any nigga that ever said something about my fucking hat. None of these niggas, Jay-Z, Beyonce, you ain't helped me when I fucking was having problems with my kids. You could have used your influence. No, your influence is for politics. Your influence is how you could use a nigga you never wanted to sign anyway.
Think about that. Even Kanye seen what they were doing in the presidential race. Y'all are now being used for politics and for people to move you on up.
Way that Dame signed. You ain't show up to my first fucking wedding. You ain't my family. I always wanted some kind of family. Never had family out here. So what the fuck? And then they take my actual blood family from me in my face. All right, so go ahead. I just had to get that stream of content. Thank you very much, sir.
Of course, of course. I mean, I'm intrigued by, and I think people look at some of the stuff you say on face value. I see how there's three themes that come across with everything with you.
Yeah.
It's betrayal, it's being used,
Yeah.
and your ideas, whether it's what you say or what you create, being censored. And I think every time I see it, no matter what you do, it falls under one of those. Like betrayal, there's a list, a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
I mean, like even the J, you don't regret the tweet because if he said something about your daughter, you'd probably be upset, right?
He should be upset. I ask people, like if I know somebody that's woke, like I knew this girl that
Pay attention. Please pay attention to this part right here.
only like hangs around really super woke, like some of like fat black girl models is like her friends type shit. And I was like, yo, you gotta tell me, what tweets y'all didn't like.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me what hurts so I could do it more.
Why?
Because that's when we're weakening the enemy. We breaking them down. All this, I'm a fat bitch on the runway. I'm so powerful. No, you're not. You're causing death.
So as you see there, that's where he really went in. I'm not gonna, like I said, just wanted to kind of get to that part because I talk about this a lot on when I'm recording or when I'm going live. Is that, like he said, you take an overweight model, which is nothing wrong with people being overweight, right? We're not judging on this channel. With that being said, when you promote that as beauty and something that is you should shoot for, you're promoting death. Because us being unhealthy is not the way to go, period. Like that's common sense, common knowledge. But it's so easy, especially in the Black community, to create a trend, to create something that's popular, to create something that is going to kill the community, but we're still going to push forward with it and make it feel like it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Only we do that. Only we do that. Then, like you said, You have to, people like myself, people like Anton Daniels, people like my boy Plug, people like just all these other channels that I watch that give honest, true feedback. They don't want to hear that. Most of you guys that's be in the comments don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear the truth about what's really going on in the world, what's really happening when it comes to like what the world wants you to be able to see, what they want you to be in control of. People don't want to see that at all. So then they make you look like you're crazy so that people don't hear you, so that like people don't agree with you. But at the end of the day, you're saying something very powerful and you're trying to help your community. But once you try to help your community, people they'll throw shade. Like people think we're going hard on Jasmine Crockett. We're not. We want her to represent